When you're testing an API that creates something, for example, create customer, there are two ways you validate that actually worked. You make the call and then you can make another call that gets the data, or you can go directly in the database and run SQL and see if the data actually got created. So let me show you both ways and we'll talk about when to use which. So here I got an API to create a customer. This is a WooCommerce API, one of the best APIs to practice testing. It's a full-blown production-ready API and it's completely free. So I use that in all my courses. So let's say I'm going to make the call to make this user, test user 22. I hit send. The API call was made and I got a 201 response back. So the first thing you do, of course, you check the response, make sure the response is good, the status is good. But how do you know if the customer actually got created? It is stored in the database properly. So the one thing is right now we made a post call. So we're going to do a get call. So we're going to take this ID. The ID is 2653 and we're going to make another call for 2653, make the send call. And this will fetch it for us. And most of the time, this is good enough. If you see the ID, that's the one. It's good enough depending on how detailed your test case, your test is. The second method or the second additional step you're going to take, you're going to go to the database. You're going to get either the ID or the email address, whatever information you want to use. In this case, let's say I want to use this guy here, right? So I'm going to come here and this is MySQL database. This is WooCommerce is a WordPress database, well, a WordPress plugin. So you use MySQL. So this is a MySQL database workbench. So I'm going to run the query in this users table. I'm going to execute that query and I get a result. I get a row and I can confirm the ID is the same. The login is created. First of all, the row actually exists. So I ran a query in the database. And this is a very simple query, right? In fact, we get one row. You can take this data, in fact, and run it in another table that has metadata for the user, a lot of different information for the user. So a lot of times you have to hit different tables. So on your test case, if you care about data integrity, then you go to the database. You don't just check the API. A lot of times the API will give you some data, but the user actually, or the product you created or whatever the thing you created has multiple data that the API is not going to give it to you. So you have to go to the SQL or to the database, use SQL and actually verify. So you have to do both a lot of times, but for the simple cases like smoke test, for example, you just use the API because it's a lot quicker. You make a post call, you make a get call, and you verify the responses match, basically, right? So there's no right answer. Usually you're going to have to do both of them.